I forget the last time we talked about this band, but we have Hail the Sun, who have dropped their brand new album, Cut, Turn, Fade Back.
Relapses of love are there, lusting everywhere that I go.
I think the last time was in their 2023 album. I don't know if we talked about it when it dropped, but it was my favorite album art of the year. So we at the very least talked about it in awards.
Got it. Because I remember that whatever, was it 2021 or was it 2022? Whatever that first album you had me listen to by Hail the Sun was.
Probably 2022, because that year they were... no, it was 21. Oh my gosh, it was 21. And that album...
I don't remember the name of it, because I was very whelmed by it. But it made your top 10. So
yeah, it was like number 8, and I've entirely forgotten what the name of it is. Let me go pull that up real quickly, and I'm going to feel real stupid once I do. New Age Filth. That's what it was in 2021.
Yeah, that album didn't leave much of an impact on me at all. Whatever their last album was, didn't leave much of an impact on me at all. This album, though, for the first time since you introduced me to Hail the Sun, has actually had some longevity and some staying power with me.
Hell yeah.
Most notably with the opener and the closer, the Drooling Class and War Crimes. Phenomenal opener, phenomenal closer.
Nothing like a bit of War Crimes to really top off the album.
War Crimes to top off the album, real. But even still, that leaves like 9 tracks in the middle of the album that, in every other Hail the Sun album, when you give me 10 Hail the Sun songs, they're all just going to kind of blend together. And even with the 9 songs in the middle, like my top 2 favorites being the opener and closer, that leaves everything in the middle to blend together. I still found a couple of songs in the middle that are standouts. A lot of it does, unfortunately, blend together for me, but songs like Live Forever and Insensitive Tempo, I have stuck with. Building Code as well has also stuck with me, and that chorus and the verses, and just across the board, the vocals here are phenomenal. And that's something that Hail the Sun has always excelled at. But I feel like they have dropped the swancore association slowly over the years into more of just being a post-hardcore band with a little bit more technical guitar work. And I feel like that slow change in their sound has really catered towards my taste in music and what I had kind of hoped that Hail the Sun would become. And yeah, overall, I really liked this album. As I said, especially the opener and closer really stuck with me. The delivery on There's No Way That You Want It the Same. There's no way that you want it saying what you get is what you give, and what you give is not enough. I love that delivery. And then in War Crimes, the verse of one for all isn't all for one. When they come for you, who will be left? Spelling freedom is really theft. I love that verse. And then the chorus as well. Don't say that you're only policing virtue. I see the faces of children torn apart from afar. And I hate when you speak that hate's an issue. Wish I could save you, but also watch you burn. Will you ever learn? I think it does a really good job of portraying the anger that especially the younger generations are feeling in recent years, with just feeling like there isn't much of a future worth fighting for. It doesn't feel like any of like the institutions really care about our generation, and there's not much influence that our generation can have on our future, and it feels like we are being held back in a way, and just expressing that frustration of wanting to be able to say something and not being able to. I think that was really well executed, but I also feel like, not even for the lyrics, what I love about War Crimes is a song is the instrumentation, mostly. There's been a lot of good out of context one-offs this episode. But no, it's really the instrumentation that I feel like excels on that song. I'm gonna have to refer to it as that song going forward, just because I can't be.
War Crimes. Sure. I say it 3 times in the mirror, a war crime happened.
Probably did, honestly.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. But the delivery on the breakdown of Cut, Turn, Fade Back, and that breakdown is phenomenal. And then the drumming as well, throughout not just the closer, but the entire album. I really found the drumming to be excellent. Given the nature of this releasing on the same day as Dayseeker and Adept, both albums that I really enjoyed, if this releases on a different day, I probably have much more to say about it. I feel like I've been generally pretty vague, other than the opener and the closer, but this is definitely my favorite Hail the Sun album, and one that I'm very happy to say this band has finally clicked with me after all these years.
It's so funny that you say that, because this is like their first album in forever that's not with Kris Crummett, the like guy who mixes all the Swancore and all
that
this.
Makes
the moment
oh my, everything just made sense. Everything just made sense. Oh no.
I will say, I think
like
this
Jake
is
just committed a war crime.
No, you know what, Jake, I am the Geneva Convention. I am permitting this war crime because they sound better here than they ever did with Kris Crummett. And I am a known Kris Crummett glazer, but this, like you said, it definitely does sound like they've stepped back a bit from Swancore. I don't know if I would say that it's more technical, because Swancore in and of itself is extremely technical, but the style that they're doing is a little bit different. And I really appreciate, dude, I looked up because I thought everybody's going to love this. The amount of people that complained about this freaking mix on the album is insane. I mean, it's Reddit, so whatever, but like, it's actually like, oh, I can't hear the guitars and the bass is too heavy.
Shut up.
The last time we got an album like that people complained about it was You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To by Knocked Loose. And you get they're working with producers that do a lot of hip hop. And it's like, good, great. That's awesome. Put the bass forward. It makes your music feel like it actually has impact rather than just Swancore dweedling around my head for 40 minutes. And people have no taste. Anyway, I think that this is the best they've ever sounded. War Crimes is easily my favorite song on here, and I love that it is a successor to the closer from their 2017 EP, Secret Wars, which details a lot of the same sentiment. And it's funny that you mentioned that's how, it encompasses a lot of how our generation is feeling, because it's been 8 years since that EP, and the message is largely the same. And it's funny how much you fight for change and want change, and how little you can actually end up changing those things, which is so indicative of everything that's going on right now.
Quick tangent, how worth it is it for me to go back to that EP and or that song?
It's mixed and produced very similarly to the rest of their stuff before this. I think if you want a great concept EP, 5 tracks lyrically, go for it. Secret Wars is the best song on that EP, in my opinion, so definitely worth it to listen to it, and then maybe it'll give you some more appreciation for War Crimes.
Do we need to do another front flip for the episode title?
Yeah, I think War Crimes is a banger. But I really appreciate how willing Hail the Sun is to treat topics that a lot of people won't touch. Like, on any given album, there is a recurring theme of a dead woman on the floor. Somebody is always dead at one point on the floor in a Hail the Sun album. And it's often because they tackle things like domestic violence and toxic relationships. They're not afraid to talk about politics and religion, about mental health and addiction. Literally Relapse is a Love Affair, which I guess kind of details both. But there are just so many moments on here where you don't really get to breathe. Like, it's this almost like blistering, like Blight, I think. It kind of took me aback when I heard it the first time because of how fast tempo it was. And then there's the Insensitive Tempo right before that, which is one of my favorite songs on the album.
Yeah.
I just, Hail the Sun has done an increasingly good job of upping the tempo of their albums to make them feel like this roller coaster ride that has very high highs and also very high lows. And I think that this is the best they've ever sounded, to changing producers aside. This, to me, really does feel like you were saying, Jake, that they've kind of distanced themselves a little bit from that kind of more Swancore sound. And they've had an identity, but this is the first time that I've heard a Hail the Sun album and felt that it was very definitively like, this is Hail the Sun. I think the drumming is incredibly impressive, which is even more impressive because Donovan Malero, the vocalist, is the drummer. So he is drumming and singing and doing all this, and it's insane live. I saw him once live. I couldn't believe how well he pulled it off, but he just continues to evolve as a musician, as a singer. Sounds as good as he ever has, if not better. I really didn't listen to any of the singles from this because it wasn't really on my radar. And I am shocked at how good it sounds in terms of how much better it is than their previous two albums, which I already rated pretty highly. I have only positive things to say about this album. It was a pleasant surprise for an album I had no expectations for, other than I really like Hail the Sun. And lo and behold, they've put out their best work yet. I also think with it being the first one you fully, or I shouldn't say fully enjoyed, but enjoyed in any strong measurable amount, I think that if you've written off Hail the Sun at all in the past as, oh, it's just another Swancore adjacent band, this is worth it. This is
it's worth giving them another chance at this point.
Yeah. It's what's that band? Dillinger Escape Plan, like that kind of style of more frantic, hectic post-hardcore. They've kind of delved more into that while keeping some of the elements that have made them the band that they are up to this point. So, yeah, phenomenal album.
I'm glad I took the gamble on including this album in the playlist. I
am too.
Didn't, because
I
knew this one went over your radar. I knew this one went over your radar, and I was like, I'm taking the bet that I like this album enough that Derek's gonna give it a listen, and he'll be able to.
Yeah, you imagine I hadn't listened to it, and we're in the big year 25, and you have to sell me on a Hail the Sun album.